Hello, everyone. My name is Phil Jones, and welcome to our next session at the Fall Projector Summit. We'd like to thank our sponsor, Sony, because for their support to help us with this particular event. And this gives us an opportunity to bring all of our favorite vendors and manufacturers together and industry experts so we could talk about all things dealing with projections, projectors, screens, calibration, cabling, all sorts of exciting things. And joining me today is Jalen. Jalen is the director of business development for VAVA, and VAVA has pretty much came up with a pretty hot product, very successful. When you talk about bang for the buck, it does an amazing job. We had a chance to review one, and we said it definitely punched above its weight class when it comes to its performance. So Jay, how are you?
Doing good, doing good. How are you doing,
Okay,
Phil?
good. So let's talk about first the company, because
Yeah.
people are going to want to kind of know about who the company is. Can you talk a little bit about the company and how it got started and all that type of stuff? Because it is kind of a newer company, right? How many years have you guys been around?
Well, the brand is a little bit newish. The brand Vava has been around for about 3 to 4 years or so, but the
Hmm.
parent company behind it is actually called Sun Valley Tech, right?
Hmm.
We've been around for about 10 plus years, and believe it or not, we're actually one of the top selling companies on
Hmm.
Amazon. So,
Hmm.
we our other brands called Rat Power, Taltronics, Phil, if
Hmm.
both have bought gadgets,
Hmm.
electronic products on Amazon,
Hmm.
chances that they've actually bought our products in the past. We're
Hmm.
very big. Rat Power is one of the more well-known portable charging brands on Amazon. Taltronics, Everyday Lifestyle, earphones, whatnot.
Hmm.
Vava is our top of the line, most innovative brand that we started out the last 3 to 4 years, and now,
Hmm.
we came out with this, like you said, Phil, this
Hmm.
bang for the buck, Vava 4K projector. Pretty cool stuff, man. But that's kind of in a nutshell what we do. Like you
Hmm.
said, maybe people have not heard of Vava as much as some of the other brands,
Hmm.
but overall, we've been in the industry for quite a while.
Yeah, so when Art had a chance to see it at CES this year,
Yeah.
he was very intrigued. And you guys did like a campaign to get to kickstart the funding on this. Is that correct? Is that how that worked?
Yeah, the Vava 4K projector, we've done quite a few crowdfunding campaigns, Phil,
Hmm.
in the past, right? So we
Hmm.
think of crowdfunding platform as a good way to get the name out there, right? To
Hmm.
test the waters, allowing the backer community, and those folks are very,
Hmm.
some of them are very fanatical, they're very fervent, they support you, all those type of things, right? So we figure it's a great platform to launch product, and the Vava 4K projector is by far our most successful uh, crowdfunding campaign, as you can see, right? I mean, dude, we raised more than $2 million, which, to be honest, it was actually quite a surprise to ourselves as well. We were the most successful 4K projector on crowdfunding today. And I think
Hmm.
that kind of told us that wow, there's actually a market where people are now looking for ultra short
Hmm.
throw laser projector out there. So it's actually really fun. I was heavily involved in that project, so to see the response and people, fully on board with it.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. So Gary was like, "You guys should be the first one to do a UST 8K for."
I know.
He's asking for CS2 2021. Gary, that's a little. You got to give him a little more time than that.
And believe it or not, we actually have thought about that, but as you know, Phil, I mean, 8K content is like few and far in between right now. So even if we come out with it, right, where are you gonna get the 8K content, right? But I mean, dude, that's definitely the trend, right? People, and the backstory too is that initially when we were looking at this product, we thought about doing 1080p version, but then we're like, content these days, the standard now is 4K is pretty much the standard, so you might as well go to 4K. So
Yeah, yeah, because it seems like the 4K
yep,
ultra short throw laser smart projector is kind of the thing. That's the long name. So everybody's
I
just trying to
know
call them laser projectors or laser TVs or
exactly, man.
TV replacements because the title. I hate typing it out. This
I know.
is the VAVA, the 4K DLP ultra short
Ultra
throw
short
laser
version,
smart
laser,
projector. VAVA.
whatever.
You know, exactly. So it's becoming kind of a hot thing because people are getting more and more used to having larger and larger screens in their home.
Yep.
And um, once you get to about 85 after that you got to go projection. And there used to be lots of limitations. There was a bulb that to burn out. It didn't have sound built in. Didn't have all the smart stuff. I had to hang it from the back of from the back. The kids were going to block the picture. I couldn't use it during
Got
the
it.
day. So a lot of those things are quickly going away. And it's making it for a person who's looking for a larger TV or a larger display quite possible. Because how much does your unit retail for?
We're retailing at 27.99, so less
Yeah,
than $1,000.
yeah. So if you took one of your projectors and a good a decent screen, you're talking 5,000 for something that is much larger than what you can get for an LCD TV. And it'll work in a variety of applications. Because right now we're having a conversation and you're actually projecting on that screen
Yep.
and you
Yeah.
have enough light that you don't look like you're in a cave. So it shows
Exactly.
that you can utilize it in a variety of applications. So there are some things that, like I said, in the future we would love to see, like Gary had brought up, 4K 120, because all these 4K gaming is coming out. Things
Yep.
like HDMI 2.1 with like maybe variable refresh rate for the hardcore gamers and auto latency mode. But all that'll come because if you look at it at $2,500, it is a pretty feature packed product. So why don't you talk a little bit about some of the details about the product itself? So let's
Yeah.
talk about that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Phil, you gave a pretty good overview as far as, why is this market opening up, right? The fact
Mhm,
that ultra short throw laser projector now makes it look like, a TV, because I can put it next to a wall like this, and then voila, it projects up to, 150 inches, right? And I think you
mhm,
also brought up a good point there too. So some people, they used to say that, well, I can get a 85-inch TV, that type of thing, right? But the price point at 85-inch TV, OLED or whatnot, it's gonna cost the yin yang, right? So
mhm,
us pricing at 27.99, we're really trying to make this affordable. And on top
mhm,
of that, with the pricing of the projector at 27.99
mhm,
plus the screen, right? Now you're looking at less than $4,000, right?
mhm,
But the first and foremost point is that we're bringing cinematic home theater into the comfort of your home. It's all about size, right? Because
mhm,
my TV, for example, is 65-inch, right? Some people have 75-inch, but now with ultra short throw laser projector like VAVA, you now can get to 100-inch. And this, I mean, again, I think from our live demo right now, this may or may not do it justice, but trust me, this is huge, right? It's
mhm,
about bigger the better. It's all about size, getting up to 150-inch. At 7 inches away, you get up to 100. At about
mhm,
12 inches, you get up to 150, right? So now you're talking about bringing the movie theater home.
mhm,
And I think especially the fact that obviously in this quote unquote crazy time that we're in right now, right? None of us can go to the movie theater still, right? I think this especially kind of open up this market even further because now we're all staying home most of the time. I'm only here today in our office to do this demo with
mhm,
you guys, but
mhm.
otherwise we're still all working from home, right? So I think
Yes.
now people are seeing that, wow,
Mhm,
I can actually get movie theater quality type of
mhm,
projection at home
mhm.
as a
Yeah,
TV versus, like you said,
exactly.
traditional DLP
Mhm,
projector having to have few, long
mhm,
distance away, people
mhm.
blocking it, that type of thing.
Yeah,
So,
and I think what I really like about VAVA is it's making it more approachable
yep,
because most people think expensive when they
it's
think about expensive, complicated, hard to install.
yep,
And I think that's the reason why so many manufacturers are trying to come up with a 4K ultra short throw smart laser projector is to try to is to try to come up with one, grow their market if they're already in the business, and for TV manufacturers to address the needs of other people. Because the fact is, it's a lot easier to get a 120-inch laser projector into a third floor walk up New York apartment. Or a flat in Paris than it is to try to lug an 85-inch TV
I
up
know.
a Paris. several flights of stairs. So
Yeah,
military guys, people who move, people who are renters, people who have who it's hard to move. This is just a another solution. And like I always joke, you can measure your TV in feet.
exactly.
You have a 65-inch TV. I have a 12-foot TV. That is the difference
Exactly.
between what you have and what I have. And I think that is actually a good thing. So it is a laser.
And to
Is it
add on
a
to that, Phil, 85-inch versus 100-inch, as you and I, we both know, there's actually a big difference. It's not quote
Mhm,
unquote, oh, just 15 inches difference. In terms of the size,
mhm.
there is probably about, possibly 2 times the difference,
Yeah,
So
it's
now
ridiculous.
you're talking about, laser quality clarity that you can watch
Mhm.
while in the comfort of your home.
Okay. So let's talk about some of the specs. It's a
Sure.
laser. It's a laser. It's a blue laser, correct?
Yeah. Laser.
With the phosphor wheel.
Yep.
DLP. We get asked a lot about the brightness on
Yep.
these on an ultra short throw, but an ultra short throw, the way it does brightness is kind of difficult
Yep.
because a I'll be honest, a 2000 lumen front projector will normally appear brighter than a 2000 lumen ultra short throw just because of how the optics are. And
Correct.
sometimes one 2000 lumen ultra short throw will appear brighter than one that's rated at 25.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. No, I
so
hear
you
you. In this current environment that we're in right now, I
mhm,
actually have the lights on in our conference room, right?
mhm,
And I think, you guys will be talking about ALR projection
mhm,
screen, throughout the summit, right? So, and certainly
mhm,
we have an ALR screen, so that definitely does help with the light rejection. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
But I think the laser projector technology,
mhm,
and certainly as you can see with the background, right,
mhm,
it definitely does look fairly well in
yeah.
broad daylight. So
Yeah, I will tell you that, like I said, there's a lot of different ways to rate it, and people I've seen like Tim's asking, you guys rate it as lumen, like with a 6,000 lumen light source, but it's not really the ANSI rating. Hey Tim, if you want to know what the actual ANSI lumens rating is, if you go to projectorreviews.com, we did a pretty detailed review of it. We'll tell you what the ANSI lumens are for each mode, which mode is the most accurate out of the box. So if you're really trying to get into what type of those real detailed features, please check out our review. We actually did two things on it. One was more of a lifestyle based article. We did like a monthly article, and then the other one was a pretty detailed review. Well, Art actually had this in his house for a while with one of the Vivid Storm
rising.
motorized uprising screens, so we could probably give you a great experience.
Yeah.
Ah,
Standard wise, we're 2500 ANSI lumens and 6000 lumens from the light source. But usually people probably most likely go by the ANSI lumens. So we're
yeah,
pretty
it's just
solid
easier.
at 2500. Yeah.
Yeah, it's easier to just to compare apples to apples.
Yep.
And as a reviewer, that kind of helps, and even as a customer, that to have that one, but then that one kind of universal number. So most people like that
Yeah.
ANSI lumens rating.
Our
Um,
definitely put our projector through the ringer. That's for sure. So that
mhm.
that review was very detailed as far as
Yeah,
finding out exactly.
that's what he likes to do. So let's talk about some other things.
Sure.
So we know that the laser light source has a pretty decent amount of time. So it's rated what 20,000 hours. The big thing is the lack of the bulb,
Yep.
because one of the reasons that terrifies people is the replacement bulbs, because
Yeah.
the bulbs burn out, the bulbs fade out, the quality is not consistent for long periods of time, and then
Yep.
when it's time to replace the bulb, you can't get them. So we know why laser is always important. So
Yep.
that's the first thing. I got to have the reliability of a TV, and laser gives you that. People like the 4K to get used to conceiving that type of resolution, especially as images get bigger. One of the benefits of having 4K is before you had to sit 3 picture heights back from an HD TV. So guess
Exactly.
what? If you want to get a VAVA and you want to get a 100-inch screen and you want to sit 8 feet from it because you have a small apartment, bring it
Yeah.
on. You have enough
Exactly.
resolution to do that. So that's the benefit of the 4K. What are you using for smarts? What smarts are in the box? What operating system? What can I do with the smarts?
Yeah.
Netflix apps, Amazon apps. What's going on there?
Correct. So our operating system is an Android, pretty straightforward Android system, right? So
Mhm,
throughout our development so far, right? And again, we're
Hmm.
pretty tight with our user community, backer community. So
Hmm.
oftentimes, they honestly, it's a plug and play thing. So our key is basically making this affordable, making it very easy to operate, to set up, right? But I mean, people like, for example, I have a Roku stick in my hands, right? People
Hmm.
plug in their favorite streaming device, whether it's a Roku,
Hmm.
whether it's an Amazon Fire Stick, whether it's
Hmm.
Apple TV, right? And off you go. But what we're honing in on, and again, just kind of like going our feature, right? So again, I think you and I keep on honing on the fact that this is plug and play. You take out of the box, and the setup is really easy. We have an 8-point keystone correction. So basically, what that means is that the quote unquote most difficult part. Oftentimes, when it comes to setting up the projector, is how do you fit it into the projection screen, right? So the 8-point keystone correction kind of helps you to kind of get that going really fast. Other than that, I mean, operation wise, it's just really, really simple.
Hmm.
There is a built-in app store. So for example, I downloaded like a YouTube app, right? But other than that, it's really straightforward. In the back, there's 3 HDMI ports. So
Hmm.
you can plug in. Right now, I have like a Sony Blu-ray DVD player plugged in. I have a USB stick plugged in, right? But it's just designed to just kind of work right out of the box. No hassle, that type. Like I said, you don't need to nail this thing on top of the ceiling. But overall, the operating system, it's just designed to be pretty straightforward, easy to use.
Okay.
So
So it has all the most popular apps that you would look for.
yeah,
And the nice thing about it being running on the Android operating system, do you have access to the Google Play Store, or is it do you have access to most of the Google Play Store? So I can
yeah,
go out and get like Spectrum. Like right now in my house, I used to have a
yeah,
whole bunch of cable boxes. I don't have them anymore because I just went out and got the Spectrum app and the Time Warner app and the Hulu app, and I got rid of all my cable boxes because I didn't need to do that anymore.
exactly.
So
Yeah,
that's another benefit of it. And like I said, it's a pretty well built machine.
yep.
It does HDR, HDR10. Does it do HLG? Does it have HLG compatibility? Do you know?
I don't think so, but we can double check on that. So maybe we'll jot that down as one of the questions to ask.
Okay, okay, okay.
On. Yeah.
like
So
like I said, the pricing is very, very good.
yeah, exactly.
It's in range. It's an approachable decision. 100 inches from 7 inches away. You
Yep.
know, 1200 lumens. So we'll stick to I mean
25.
2500. We'll
Yeah.
we'll stick to the actual the normal way that everybody rates it, and of
Yep.
course you have your laser. Oh, Gary wants to know, does it have eARC? Probably ARC, Gary. eARC allows you to connect it to a secondary audio system. So let's look
Yeah,
here
so
on the
there's
back
definitely
of.
audio connections. A lot of our users, if this is what Gary's referring to, connecting
Mhm.
to like Sonos speakers or outside speakers, dancers.
Or an AVR, a big receiver, because
Yeah.
I have a day job. So so
Yeah.
so so
I
people
mean,
want to
trust
plug them into their
a lot of
plugged.
yeah, our
Mhm.
users, are kind of like you, Phil and Gary, very well versed in audio video, in terms of the home theater setup, right? So
Mhm.
we definitely should be compatible with a lot of those things. And one more thing that I should add, which I didn't include in that slide, is that it does
Mhm.
have the built-in Harman Kardon 60-watt speaker. So
Mhm.
again, it kind of go back to that thing, plug and play, right? So if you want to take this thing out,
Mhm.
just have it sound great right off the get-go. The
Mhm.
Harman Kardon built-in Harman Kardon speakers definitely make it sound pretty amazing right off the bat.
Yes.
So I can do a couple of demos if you want. Just kind of
Yes.
enjoy either the
Yeah.
music or movie. You want to do
Yeah.
that now or later? It's up to you,
And
Phil.
we could do it later. I will say too that about the ARC, the EARC, because I didn't get a chance to the ARC or the
Yeah,
EARC, I didn't
no,
get a chance to review it. But in our review, Art went over all of that. He's going to tell you what inputs are there, what apps are there, how
exactly.
does the sound system work, how many speakers in the sound system, how many amplifiers are in the thing. Art likes to write, and
Like I said, Art put the projector through the ringer. That thing he wrote about 10 pages long.
oh yeah, oh
Is
yeah, oh yeah.
and
He
our users, we oftentimes direct people who have questions about our product
Mhm.
toward the projector reviews, detailed review of VAVA, because it literally has everything that anybody ever wants, pretty much literally wants to know about the VAVA
Yeah,
projector.
that's our goal of our reviews
Yeah,
is to help you make that final decision. So try to give you enough information to help you finally say, do I want to get it or not? And what I want to get across too is I used to work for a company that made I used to work for Sony, and we made an ultra short throw that had all the specs you would ever want, but it was the price of a small BMW. So while is a $10,000 ultra short throw, could it outperform this? It could. Yeah, it probably could. But it's
Yeah,
$10,000. Okay, this
exactly.
is $2,500. Your buddies come over to watch a movie or a sporting event in a realistic room, and it is an approachable thing. And that's the big thing I want to get across. And what I like about your pictures, Jay, is unlike most of the people that send me pictures, you actually sent me real world
Exactly.
rooms. A lot of times it's some image photoshopped into a onto a screen, and you really can't see its actual performance. So I really like the fact that the images you sent me were actual images of the display in real world
You got it. Yeah,
applications.
those are, yeah, I'm glad you caught that too. Those are real customers
Mhm,
using our projectors. And, I love, again, we have a pretty robust user community, right? To
mhm,
contribute their thoughts, they talk
mhm,
about CEC, whatever, whatnot, right? But these are the
mhm,
real pictures that they share. And I love it because it shows you that this is like something that people actually do use left and right, right? And I
mhm,
think
mhm,
you touched upon that question earlier, which is, compare this to, let's say, a 10,000 or 20,000 or even a $6,000 projector, right?
mhm,
I think everybody in this field in general, we all have our amazing features, right? Single
mhm,
laser versus tri-laser projectors, are there
mhm,
differences? Phil, I'm pretty sure you know that there is probably
mhm,
a difference, but it just
mhm,
depends on what your preference is.
mhm,
With our projector at 27.99, you get an ALR screen, let's say at 499, right?
mhm,
Now you're out about $3,500,
mhm,
and that makes it a lot more affordable
mhm.
versus, let's say, 10,000
Yeah.
or even 6,000. And
Yeah, yeah.
and that's
Because
what we're
I'll
trying.
be honest. Like if you were going to do a dedicated theater,
Yeah,
maybe you would invest in some sort of behemoth like this monstrous,
I know.
outstanding JVC. But many of us, if you're looking for, I want just to be able to sit down with my family, watch movies, and have a good cinematic experience. And
Yeah,
I'm not into all of the speakers and all of the other things that go with it. I want it simple. This is a good solution,
yeah.
you know, for you. Now you sell it without. How much is it again? It's
27, so
20
2,800.
$2,800
Yep,
without a screen. So that gives you the ability to get to buy the third party screen that works best for you. Yet
correct.
I asked you about the screen behind you.
Yep.
What is that screen behind you?
So this is an ALR screen, and I think Phil, you and I were talking about earlier, right? So we will be selling our own VAVA ALR screen
Mhm,
in the near future,
mhm,
probably by early November. So hey, world breaking news, here on a projector review. But because it's a natural extension, because you're basically talking about a combo, right? If
mhm,
you get the projector at 27.99, obviously this is also not like a $400 TV, right? If you're
mhm,
willing to invest and pay close to $3,000 for a projector, you
mhm,
should get an appropriate screen that deals with daylight coming in
mhm,
from whichever living room that you're in, right?
mhm,
So we will be coming out with ALR screen, and that's actually an interesting point too. I mean, we're just having a casual conversation. To me, I think from hearing, talking, seeing the feedback from our user community, I think the system that people probably want to have is the projector, the screen, and also a media console,
mhm,
that can elevate the height of the projector into. So I believe that's really the three in one. Plus maybe,
mhm,
if you want to have your own streaming TV stick, right?
mhm,
But those three, four things are what I would consider the utopia. If you're gonna
mhm,
get a projector, those three, four
mhm.
things are pretty much your quote unquote system that will
Okay.
make your entire experience pretty well.
Okay, so hopefully you're gonna have a white and a black one for cosmetics, which is you do,
Yep.
and the difference between the white and the black, they're performance wise, they're pretty much identical, correct?
They're identical. The main difference is the black color. And again, there's nothing wrong with white. The white was the first one that we came up with. It's
No,
been
no,
very popular. But I think the
it's
black, if you're in a movie theater, like a completely dark environment,
it
the
doesn't call
black,
attention to itself.
yeah, exactly. You got it. The black does better, right? Because there's no reflection. Whereas the
Mhm,
white, sometimes you do see our user talking about it. But again, I think that's also just a personal preference thing. But the black,
Exactly.
trust me, dude, it looks amazing.
Okay, so you'll have a black and a white.
Yep.
Prices identical are similar, right? Identical. I would hope so. And
Yep.
then I can buy it with and without a screen. Correct? You're not going to
Correct.
just okay. So
Yeah.
that gives you basically four different things: black with screen, black without screen, white without screen. Is where
Correct.
you're trying. To go.
And certainly, I think our customers, just like anybody that buys a laser projector, you can buy other brands screens
Mhm,
as well. So for example, we don't make the motorized
mhm,
floor rising screen that you're talking
mhm,
about
mhm,
earlier, which is, trust
mhm,
me, is totally cool.
mhm,
So if they buy a VAVA and they want to pair it with the floor rising screen, and the purpose of
mhm,
floor rising screen is that sometimes we see our users still keeping their TV. So the
mhm,
TV is right there, right?
mhm,
And then you have the VAVA projector in front of the TV, and
mhm,
then there's a floor rising screen so that
mhm,
when they want to see something in 150 inch, then you
mhm,
get the floor rising screen and then you bring it down, bring it down,
mhm,
and then you
mhm.
still watch a regular TV. So,
Exactly. Yeah.
that's
Well, I
up.
was thinking, well, you talk about like Jason from Screen Innovations was just here with
Yeah,
his Pro Solo. You charge it maybe a couple of times a year, you charge it again. You add
yeah,
something like that with ultra short throw material with a screen with a projector
yeah,
like this. It's not that expensive of a proposition, but you can make it completely disappear. And because the Pro Solo is battery powered, you don't have to run power to it. When it's up, you can have a painting there.
yeah,
So there's a lot of cool things you can do with this, and it just gives you, it helps it get past the design committee. We talk about the design committee sometimes. One person in the family wants the big TV,
yeah,
and other people don't want the big TV, and that's a way to ensure that everybody's happy. You get the big TV when you want it, and then you can make it disappear if you don't. And
yeah,
it's not some insane price. I'm sure if you talk to Jason, I'm not sure what a Pro Solo 100-inch would be, but it's
yeah.
not going to be that crazy. And you made it with a VAVA, and you're talking about something that's not that much more than an 85-inch basic
I
85-inch TV.
know. I know.
You know,
And again, I think the cool thing is that here, just like, we hear actual stories from people, right? So
mhm,
during the initial crowdfunding project,
mhm,
there was a backer. He actually bought not one, not two, but six. He
mhm,
bought six VAVA projectors.
mhm,
He was gonna have three side by side and put it together
mhm.
in like his downstairs living room, and then three. But again, imagine if each projector is 10K, that's 60 grand
Mhm,
right there, right? But
mhm.
now, again, different people use it differently, right? So
Yeah,
the guy bought
exactly.
six, dude. And then we
Mhm,
also hear in our Facebook group that he said he's about to sell his $10,000 projector, and in return he was
mhm,
gonna get two VAVA, because the two VAVA
mhm.
added together is still cheaper than whatever
Mhm.
use
Yeah.
price that he gets. So again, it's that affordability, right?
Yeah,
With great
yeah.
quality.
I can tell you one of the wildest things I've ever seen with a bunch of short throw projectors. I was at a facility that makes video game systems,
Yep.
and they were showing that they can link multiple video game systems together. They will never sell to consumers, but you can have one on the front wall, one on the side wall, and one behind you. And
Yeah.
what they did was they put four ultra short throw projectors, and you were playing Gran Turismo. So that kind of
Dude,
tells you who it was. And what they used was four ultra short throws with a driving chair. So when
yeah,
the car hit, you could see the car go by you along the side. It was the most awesome thing I've ever seen in my
I
entire life. So there are some maniacs out there with hardcore that would actually do that. But guess what? You can actually do it for 10 grand. But
yeah,
if you look here, everybody recognizes it does a lot for what you're getting. It's not trying to be the ultimate replacement, highest end one. It's just making it more accessible to consumers, and that is why a lot of review sites like it, because we're trying to grab more enthusiasts and make them projection customers. And this is and encourage them to read my reviews, come to my site, and that's why this opens it up to more and more
yeah.
people. Now,
More power to everybody too. We seeing our users putting this into their playroom, right?
mhm,
I've seen users with like a pool table, the Bud Light
mhm,
neon signs, and then
mhm,
bam, they have a VAVA projector right there. We've
yeah,
also seen people do it in that
yeah,
awesome, home theater that you're talking about, like a really
yeah,
grand home theater room. And then somebody has a TV, replacement, blah blah whatever.
mhm,
So man, it's very interesting just to see how And
Yeah.
to be honest, Phil, I think this ultra short throw laser projector market, it's
Hmm.
definitely opening up.
Yeah.
More and more people are understanding, wow, this is different. So who
Hmm.
knows? It'd be
Yeah.
very interesting to
Now,
see what happens
yeah.
in 3 years.
Now I can tell you when you do your screen. We saw a cool little thing yesterday where in the box was a cardboard template that you use the template to you put the template up against the wall, you slide the projector up to the template, and I know that if the projector is at that distance, the screen, it's the proper distance for the screen. So it helped the line. So as you guys are doing, if you guys do decide to sell it with a screen, the install instructions need to be
Yeah,
extremely simple because a lot of times we're talking 10, $20,000 systems. You're going to pay to have someone do that. At that $2,500 to $5,000 thing, there are people that are going to do it themselves, and to make it easy for them adds another value. So as you guys start thinking about mating the two together, it's set up the simplified setup process is, for aligning the screen and hanging the screen would be something that people would really, really, really appreciate.
yeah, and I think you hit it on the point too, because our user community are very diverse. You definitely seen the DIY people, right? They buy the projector. In fact, here's an interesting picture to share with you.
Hmm.
Um, this is one of our users, right? He
Hmm.
literally built the cabinet himself from
Wow,
scratch.
that is really pretty.
No kidding. Again, that's why I use this picture, because when I first saw this, and I only discovered this in Reddit, right? He built that cabinet from scratch. So you have these DIY, and that looks awesome, amazing, right?
Yeah.
He knows how to align it. The VAVA
Hmm.
projector is actually sitting inside that cabinet. The lasers coming out of that little hole right there, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
But then maybe some folks, they would like to have work with their local audio video system integrator, right? Come into their
Hmm.
house, measure the wall size, help them to know the distance, that type of thing. So I think again, it's just up to you how you want to set this up.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
yeah, but this picture is amazing, right?
Yes, yes, yes. So yeah, you can build like companies like Salamander make pre-made
Exactly.
cabinets, but
Yeah.
this gentleman made that from scratch. Like I actually built my own cabinets in my theater that to hold my center channel and things like all of my disc. And when I first saw these ultra short throws, I was like, man, I should build another cabinet. The hardest problem is having enough space to put the center channel in it because it's massive. The center channel is bigger than that projector. So trying to get that center channel in there and the projector in the cabinet is the only reason why I haven't done it yet because I'd
Yeah.
have to put the center channel so low.
We're
So
we're
that's so.
this whole ecosystem, right? So we're also in discussion with media console
Mhm,
partners such as Aegis,
mhm, mhm,
cabinets and whatnot. Just
mhm,
because again, I think this market is really kind of going up, right? And
mhm,
I was telling you, how the 3-4 pieces that kind of put the whole thing together, right? So
mhm.
and it is pretty. I don't know if you can hear the fan noise, right? But once you put
Mhm.
this thing into the cabinet, you do need to have holes. Obviously, again, you're the expert here, but
Yeah,
you need
ventilation.
ventilation, the noise and whatnot, so forth, right?
Mhm,
So again, it just somebody can do it DIY, sure, but you may
mhm,
want to get the experts, to,
mhm.
to kind of work with you to get this thing going. Totally up to you, man. So
Yeah. So the black one's new, right? You were gonna actually
yeah,
bring it up to the so
yeah.
so 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 and how much does it weigh? It looks like it's pretty. It's not too bad when it comes
Oh,
to
good
they're
workout.
they're not portable, but
Yeah,
they're movable. So and the
yeah,
design is really nice. It's a very very clean design. If you just glance at it quickly, you would almost think it was a center channel if you didn't
yeah.
know that
I know.
there's not a lot of buttons, there's not a lot of switches. You guys did a really, really good job
Yeah,
on the industrial designs because that matters as much as ever because it is in the front of the room and you're looking at it.
yeah.
So it
No, you,
has
you,
to be
brought-
it
you
has to
you
be.
brought a good point, because oftentimes when we're demoing at CES or a couple other places, right? In the beginning, people thought that we're selling the screen, or the screen is the TV itself. They didn't know that that it was coming out from the laser, that
Uh,
type of thing. It was hilarious, right?
yeah, yeah,
Um, yeah,
yeah. So that's a good thing. The industrial design is really nice. The
yeah,
black, like I said, I like the black because, like I said, and it's matte and it's just a nice looking piece. And like I said,
yeah.
uh, I think you guys did a really, really good job on it. And and it
I-
works. And like I said, you guys have a very big following. A lot of people who have bought them have been very happy with their overall performance, and based on its price point is very, 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 very good. Let's talk a little bit about the sound again, real
Sure.
quick. So you said it has a Harman sound system. How many watts is it? How many speakers is it? All that type of stuff.
Yeah, so it's a built-in 60-watt Harman Kardon speaker right in the front. So again, I mean, this makes it where if you just want to get out the box to use it right away, it's pretty powerful. And I can play a couple of demo videos later on to kind of show how powerful it is. I mean, right now the room you cannot see the back obviously, right? It's a fairly large
Mhm.
conference room, but trust me,
Mhm.
it fills it up pretty big,
Yeah.
But
So it's
again, I
room
use it
filling.
as their thing too. So sorry,
Yeah. It's room filling is the main thing you're
it
trying to get
definitely,
across.
yeah.
Yeah, because one thing about a thin TV is the sound is thin too. So, 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 there's
Kids
very
make
few full, robust sounding stuff, and a lot of times because the ultra short throws have a little bit more space for
yeah,
speakers, and the sound it can do a pretty decent job for some people. If you're into audio, like an audiophile like me, or even like somebody like Art, of course it's good for like a bedroom system. Perfect,
yep,
because
yeah,
it's simple, and all I want to do is just hear. I want to make sure I hear the shows and everything else. But like I said, it's gonna perform better. It's really hard to get good sound from a thin TV, and I've noticed that most of them sound of these ultra short throws, including the VAVA, sounds good for many people. It's better than what they're expecting or what they're used to. You know,
yeah,
I hopefully to and my day job is going to try really, really hard to get you to spend more money on the sound system, but
yeah.
but for many people, it's better than what they had.
No,
One
and I
person,
think
Gary, was like,
that's,
"Hey, it would be cool if you had a center channel input on the VAVA." So, for
yeah,
example, so I could take my because that would be something that I would be kind of interested in, because I could
yeah,
take the pre-outs from my receiver and plug it into the VAVA and use the speakers in the VAVA for the
yeah,
center channel. So I wouldn't
yeah,
have to have so for my home theater system, that would be pretty slick. So
yeah.
there's a product. Look at Gary over here, product planning on the internet.
We should bring Gary on board. But I think Phil, you brought a good point. Again, go back to that affordability thing,
Uh-huh.
right? At 27.99, you can hook this up to pretty amazing sound system if you want to, because you have
Hmm.
money, quote unquote, left over, right? You have money
Hmm.
left over in your budget versus, let's say again, if you get something at $10,000, you may not have money, left over
Yep.
to build up your sound system, So
Exactly.
it kind of gives you that flexibility, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. I always say do not remove, reduce. Don't spend all your money on the projector. Don't
Exactly.
spend all your money on the sound system, and don't spend all your money on the screen. You need all of it, right? So if you have a $10,000 budget, you'd be better off with a $2,500 screen, a
Right.
$2,500 projector, and because I'm an audio, a $5,000 for a sound
You-
system. But the audio
There
stuff can actually be so. But either way, that is a great solution. Is do not remove, reduce,
yeah,
and this actually gives you the budget to buy a nicer screen to go with it, because Jason will come back in here with his battle flag and say you can have the best projector in the world, but if you project it on a lumpy green wall, it's not
no,
going to do anything for you anyway.
very
So,
true.
you're buying a system. So this allows you to take your budget and get a better overall experience.
Yeah,
Get a good projector, get a good screen, get some good sound, and then when you sit down to watch your favorite movie, it's way more awesome.
yeah.
Okay.
And the thing is, what I'm demoing behind me, this is about a 100-inch screen, right?
Mhm.
You can obviously splurge on a 120 or even up to 150. So a lot of our users, right? I mean, dude, it's all about go big or go home, right? When they get a laser projector like this, they actually want, I might as well spend a little bit more and get a 120 or even up to 150. Because
Mhm.
again, all about that gigantic, screen in your home,
That
So
immersive experience. So Jay, thank you very much. We'd like to thank our sponsor too, because like I said, Sony is helping me pull this off. So thank them as well. But Jay, thank you for coming.
take care, Phil. Thanks a lot.